What's up? You're watching Poot's Garage. This week we're just kind of starting off just doing weekend stuff. I don't even know what I'm getting into yet. I haven't really thought about it. I have one thing though that we did get in the mail, so let's start with that. We're gonna dive into some storage content. Oh man. So last video I previously mentioned I had ordered some new storage stuff for the Cherokee because when I'm out four-wheeling, it's kind of becoming a pain in the butt to go in and out of your storage container all the time, and if it's not tied down in an easy to access manner, it's kind of a pain in the butt. So I have been using this Stanley mobile tool chest. It's just kind of a free thing that I got at a yard sale. It's hard plastic. It's fairly durable, but you know, it's got things I don't need, like a handle. I don't need the wheels, and I've kind of found that the storage part of it is actually not as useful as you would think for just like general storage for like an off-road vehicle. So let's pop it open. It's got really nice, you know, metal latches, which are really nice and sturdy, which is good. And then you take the top off and it immediately goes into a, like a, I don't know, like a mobile tool storage deal that you can walk around with, which is great for working around the house or whatever. But the problem with this is it's got a bunch of small compartments, which I don't really need. And then because of that, you know, you lose a lot of your big storage. Pretty much down to here is where all we can utilize down there. And then having the wheels, it takes up room in there. And so this box is just kind of, it's too small. It's too small for all the bigger things that I need. I just need like a big, wide open storage box. You know, things I keep in here is like I got my little air compressor, which is not ideal, but it'll work in an emergency. We keep our big tire plug patch kit. You know, I got my voltmeter down there. We got random ratchet straps and some gloves, and oh, looks like there's some tie down stuff if we need to. You know, just kind of random stuff. And then I keep a roll of paper towels in there. In the top, we keep our Noco jump box. This is kind of not ideally stored. Got a couple of rolls of, interesting, nice electrical tape. And then this, I don't even know where that came from. I think that came from one of the other guys. I need to get that back to him. I think this is like a cloth electrical tape type material or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's just not been ideal. And the other aspect to this is trying to keep this thing tied down in the back of the Jeep. You end up having to run straps over the top of it because there's no tie downs on the sides or anything like that. So every time you go into that, you have to undo multiple, you know, ratchet straps, which, you know, ratchet straps aren't horrible, but you know, the ends always come unhooked, and you know, you're trying to throw your stuff back in and then get the ratchet straps on, and then you're trying to hit the trail again, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. It's, you know, it might not seem like it at first, but it's tiring really quick. And also, you can't run this thing without this tray because it uses that thickness as the lid, which is part of the tie down. So if you run this without there, the lid's loose, the tie down doesn't grab, you know, so you have to run this, which is kind of I don't know, just a pain in the ass. But this will become very handy around the house. I'm actually gonna turn this into like my house tool type stuff because I'm kind of running out of space on that. You know, just hammers and nails and just random stuff. And then I can wheel it around the yard, which is actually a little more handy than how I do things right now, which is pretty much just lugging around this single little deal here. I always gotta grab that when I gotta do something around the house. So it'll be nice to put all that in a chest and actually be a little more organized. Plus I can get some more stuff off my shelf up there that I use, you know, like house tools, but that's a whole nother story. And that's not what we're here for. So what we bought is this Plano box. I don't know if you've heard of Plano, like the like your fishing boxes and like your tackle boxes and stuff like that. And they make just kind of a regular, oh man, storage box, which is actually really nice. This is actually their medium size, and I had to go medium because their large one, which I would prefer, is just too big to fit width-wise in the back of the Cherokee because of my roll cage back there. So I needed something that kind of fits between the roll cage bars, and this actually fits about right. Leaves me a few inches on each side to, you know, for whatever. And this is just kind of I mean, storage-wise, it doesn't look that much bigger, but I think it's gonna be a lot more useful just because it's wide open in there. This one here has plastic hinges or latches, but they're decent. The reviews are all good. They don't really break the latches or anything like that. So we pull it apart. You know, the lid is raised so you can kind of put things a little over the top if needed, and that's it. It's just a wide open storage. Now, it is probably, I would give it one step above like a standard tote, like a cheap tote quality. I mean, with the lid off, it's a little flimsy, It's got that, I don't know, kind of rubbery, hard plastic, but with the lid on, it's actually very sturdy. I think the lid is what kind of does everything. So you can actually sit on this. It feels a lot more sturdy when it's all tied together. So it'll actually work really good for lightweight type of storage. I wouldn't put, you know, like tools, like heavy stuff that are gonna possibly break out the sides, but for all this more bigger, lighter type supplies, and plus maybe I can get my, you know, my tie down ropes in there and stuff like that, it'll be perfect. See, the lid is actually very well, I don't know, reinforced. It's got all that square plasticky reinforcement deals. So yeah, you can actually sit on this thing, which is actually really nice. The lid is like the strong part of it. So it's actually a really good little storage device, and it's cheap. I mean, as far as storage boxes go, I searched every storage system box I could think of on the internet, trying to find something that was bigger than kind of just your standard toolbox size, like Milwaukee pack-out boxes and stuff like that. I was trying to find something just a little wider to fit between the, you know, roll cages and stuff. But I wanted something that had to have some sort of tie-down system on the sides, and these kind of have a tie-down, which is, see, it's not part of the lid. It's got these nubs, which are supposed to be for tie downs. That's specifically what they're for. But they're not real significant. They're strong. They'll hold the box down, which is perfect. I just got to figure out how I'm going to run a strap to those to make it actually operate. So I think we're just going to basically go like around to something on the ground and then back up, and then we'll just do that system, a V, or I could do the same thing on the sides, which actually might work a little better to kind of strengthen. I don't know. We'll just do that, and then we'll just do two, one on each side, one way or the other. So yeah, I wanted something that I don't have to pull straps off the top to open it. Literally, all I could do is go to the back of the Jeep, unlatch it, pull the lid off, get what I need, you can throw the lid right back on, be on your way. Not messing with straps every time you're in and out of that thing, and we break a lot of stuff, so we're in and out of these boxes a lot apparently. So yeah, I needed something with tie downs, and trying to find anything online that had any kind of a tie down system. They're either complete overkill, like a Yeti storage box, and you probably heard of like the price of a Yeti cooler. Well, their storage boxes aren't any cheaper. It's pretty much a cooler. And so like trying not to spend, you know, $500 on a storage box was just insane. And then like some things actually have really nice storage systems or racks that clip in and like legit tie downs, like really nice stuff, but way beyond my budget. So these Plano boxes, this medium box was only $30, which is perfect. You know, I consider it one step above a tote, so that's great. I can buy multiples if I need to. If I want to get another one, they'll fit in there. I still got plenty of room. I can put another one in. The large one, I think that was like $40. It's not much bigger. It actually comes with it's quite a bit wider, like 6 inches wider, and then depth-wise, I don't know if it was any deeper. I don't remember, or taller. I don't remember the sizes, but that one actually had 4 latches, two on the front and 2 on the back, which was actually really nice. It kind of spaced out the latching system. Or you can actually upgrade and get one that has a hinge on the back. A lot of people don't do the hinges. They say it's kind of not that great, so just kind of stick to the latches, I think. But I just want something that has all my stuff, all my gear in one box. That way I can actually take it out of the Cherokee and say I'm going to take this truck out. I can just throw that box in this truck, you know, and tie it down. So it's kind of nice. So I guess now I'm just going to, like, you know, transfer everything over and just kind of get things set up and then figure out how I'm going to tie this thing down. I think it's going to be pretty basic. I think I'm probably just going to run, I've got a bunch of these eyelets that, again, were free in a yard sale. Maybe I'll cut the threads off. Maybe I'll utilize the threads. I don't know. Cut the threads off and just weld that straight down to the floor of the Cherokee somewhere. And then I can have some good, strong tie downs. I kind of want to put a bunch of these in there, like, I need tie down points all over inside that for tying, you know, other random things. Like I got a high lift in there and different things like that everything's a pain in the butt to tie down because there's nothing to really attach to. So maybe I'll just put like a bunch of these in the Jeep, random places. As you can see, I have a handful of them. Another thing I've been obsessing about all week, well, through my work week, it's my long week, 4 days, is this Corvette. If I can get it in view. I'm starting to research wheels for this thing because I need to get away from these factory wheels, the offset, and I want something bigger, better, nicer, cleaner. I'm got to get wheels on this thing. So I'm starting to really research fitment and different things like that. And anybody that might have one of these Corvettes knows that our aftermarket selection is not that great. Depends on what you like. There's a ton of I don't know what you call it, like C6 and C7 reps and stuff like that. Basically replica wheels from later cars, or you just buy the factory wheels from a C6 or C7 vet and make them fit. But I really don't like the factory wheels on other cars. It's just not me. I don't do the factory wheels from one car, put it on another. Every once in a blue moon, it's cool, but on something like this, no, I can't do it. They don't look right. They don't, I don't know, they don't pop. They don't have the style. I don't know, it's just not my thing. Definitely not doing a chrome wheel. I'm not doing like a corny factory wheel. So we are trying to find some aftermarket wheels, and our aftermarket selection on these cars is pretty slim, which is kind of crappy. I think it has to do with the lug pattern is a little more specific on these. It's 5 by 120.65, which is basically what did they say? It's a 5 on basically 4 3/4 inch wheel, which is, you know, kind of common for older Chevy stuff, but the offset and stuff to make them work on this is way crazy. You can see, I mean, you have to have almost a flat face wheel to make that wheel fit, and aftermarket stuff doesn't do that. So there are a few companies out there that do have, you know, wheels specifically for this, and they look all right. They look cool, but it's just not the look I really want. And I'm starting to struggle finding something that I really like versus just any old aftermarket wheel that fits. Now, fitment to me is 95% of making an aftermarket wheel look good, right? I guess it depends on what you consider fitment, but it's got to be basically flush to the fender. And by flush, I mean when you look down the side of the car, I mean that wheel needs to be basically right up. Wheel and tire needs to be basically flush with your fender. These rears are, you can see they're inboard a little bit, especially the wheel itself. So yeah, you can see that's why a factory wheel, they always put factory wheels inboard. And the front is even worse. So you can see the front goes way in there. So that's what we're not having. So having a wheel that fits flush, has clean fitment, plus you got to get rid of the wheel gap. I've lowered this thing a little bit, but it still has quite a bit of gap. But at least the gap is less than the thickness of the tire, so it looks okay still. Like, I think the way this car looks right now is actually how it should have been from the factory. But we got to tighten all that up, so we're going to end up lowering it more. We got to get that wheel out just a little bit. You can't have the wheel stick out. As soon as that wheel sticks out, looks bad, in my opinion. 95% of putting an aftermarket wheel is fitment. You can have an ugly wheel with good fitment, and it's actually going to look pretty good. I don't care how ugly the wheel is. As long as that fitment is right, it's going to look decent. But now you can have your dream wheel on there, an absolutely awesome looking, beautiful wheel. And if that thing is sticking way far in or it's hanging way out of the fender, it looks horrible. It's going to throw the entire look of the car off. So fitment, fitment, fitment. I'm going to say you get your fitment right first, then worry about the style. Factory, these cars are 17 front, 18 rear. I'm probably looking at going up to 18 front, 19 rear. 19 rear gives you more options for tires. Gets you, I want to do a 305 tire. I don't think they make a 305 and an 18 that'll work on this. So we're definitely going to be going up to a 19, I'm sure. I can do 18, but we have to go up to a 315. And then to me, the 315 tire just looks too chunky. Looks too wide on the wheel, even with an 11-inch wheel. And you start getting that tire bulge, and then the tire itself sticks out a little, which I don't know, it's not the look I'm going for on this car. We'll stick the tire bulge and stuff for if we ever did like a drag pack or something. Then it looks cool. If it's like a drag wheel, then it can stick out a little bit and it'll look all right still. So yeah, trying to find a 18, 19 with the proper offsets. And depending on how wide it is, right now it's basically a plus 57 offset in the front and basically the same plus 57 here, being the wheel is actually wider in the rear. It's going for a 10 and an 11 probably. I don't know, there's so much stuff to try and figure out to get your fitment just right. So it's hard. It's hard figuring this out. So yeah, like I said, there's a couple companies that make some specific stuff, but the styling isn't quite exactly what I want. But if worst case scenario, I can make them work, I'll do it. But I would love to find something that's just beautiful and perfect. And then the other option actually to make things fit really nice is you step up to like a 3-piece wheel and you can pretty much have whatever fitment you want. Problem with those is they are super expensive, uber expensive. You know, on the bottom end, you're looking at $1,200 a wheel, which, and then they go all the way up to, you know, thousands per wheel. So it's just, it gets expensive extremely quick. So if I can find something in that mid-range price, you know, not cheap, you know, like rep wheels for C6, C7, you know, $200-300 a piece, but not something that's $1,200. If I find something in the middle, then okay, we'll start talking. Hopefully tires aren't as expensive. But yeah, I'm just obsessing over trying to figure out what wheel I want. I at least want to pick out what I want. I don't have to buy it right now because, you know, money. But at least have something that I'm going to look forward to and something that I can work towards to, you know, get that money to make it happen. So we are trying to figure more stuff out on this as we go. And there we go. We got all of our stuff just kind of tossed in there. Everything fits really nice. Everything's easy to get to, a lot easier to manage. So yeah, it's really exciting. Storage box stuff. Still room for more if I need to put some more stuff in there, and we are good to go. All right, we got some welding done here. We got a cat about to jump up. Come on. So I bought some angle iron, and we kind of made some little areas to outline the box. That guy. So now it's going to sit in there. It can't slide back and forth anywhere. And then we ended up welding on these big eyelets, which are complete overkill, but they're big enough to put the strap through easily. They're still hot. And yeah, so we'll put the box in there. We'll have the straps going from corner up to corner, and then on front and back. And then this box ain't going nowhere. And now I can access top and be happy. So we are pretty much done with this. Next, I need to build a some sort of little holder for this high lift jack. I'm gonna build almost like a box in the corner to put the foot in. I think might be an easier way to do it, but you know, and then this side will just lay down, and I'll have like a big bolt with a stud, just kind of go there, and then just put like a wing nut on it, and it'll just be stored across the back, easier to access. So, won't have to mess with ratchet straps for that either. That'll be nice. We are using our new 220 outlet here. 50-foot extension cord going out there. We got plenty to spare, so it's working pretty good. All tied in. There we go. Nice, clean, and simple. Open the top now without having to unstrap everything. Much better, much quicker. I like it a lot. I'll probably do things a little different. For one, I mean, they do wiggle around a little, so probably having actual like corner braces instead of the center braces would be a little more ideal to keep it from rotating. And then what was I gonna say? Oh, the straps, tie downs, probably run 4 individual straps would be a little bit better, because these ones do allow for a little bit of lift if they're not super tight. So, but it works fine. You can see these straps work like that. Just a single through. If you need to release it, you just push the button, tighten it, you just snug up on it a little bit. So I like it. And a lot easier, a lot more accessible. Now we're working on the Corvette. I am working on tuning this stereo system a little bit. So you can see we got a little oscilloscope going on here. This little Amazon unit, which has been recommended by a few people. And that's the brand there, if you can read it. Apparently that is a fairly accurate little oscilloscope for, you know, 30 bucks. So what I've done is I've disconnected all RCAs off the amps. And we are actually hooked up to the RCA to the subwoofer right now. And you can see right now we are flatlined. And I'm just kind of playing with this. I'm learning this as I go. So if I hit play, I'm set up. I actually found a 40 hertz test tone on Amazon or Pandora. So this is a straight, steady 40 hertz tone going on right here. And so if I play that, you can see our oscilloscope is doing things. It's kind of cool, huh? Now right now we're only at, I don't know, what am I at, like 20 on the volume. So let's go turn the volume up and see what's going on. Yeah, 20, 21. We're gonna go up more. Let's see, it's going up. That's 30. And we're looking for those, I don't know, those waves to get uneven, right? And if I take this thing all the way up to 35, which is max volume on this deck, they actually look pretty even. I don't think this thing clips the way it is. But there's also a setting that I'm going to change here too, because let me show you something real quick. Try to get up closer so you can actually read it. I don't know if you can read that or not, but we're only on 0.2 volts. That's our range. And what we're actually reading here, it looks like max is 0.4, minimum negative 0.29. So yeah, we're at like 30 volume right now. So we're barely putting any voltage out on the subwoofer right now. And something I've read on tuning these things is Alpines like to have the actual subwoofer output level all the way up, max 15. That's going to give you the maximum voltage through that RCA cable. Now that's not a bass boost or anything else like that. That's literally the voltage for the RCAs coming out. So I'm going to change that real quick and see what our voltage changes to. So we come up to the head unit here, and this is the Alpine 73 BT. It's a relatively cheap Alpine. Push and hold the music button. We have audio, which we go into, and then we have a subwoofer, which I think subwoofer is our subwoofer level. So we have subwoofer level, which is what we're going to adjust. We have phase, which is basically positive, negative. We got low pass frequency, which we lowered down to 80 hertz. It was factory set at 100. And then, yeah, I think that's all the settings we have in here. So if we go to level, we're at 0. We can turn it off. 0, but everybody says you turn Alpines up all the way. That'll give you about 4 volts, which is probably more recommended for tuning this stuff. And what I noticed is this thing just didn't have the bass that I felt like it should have. I mean, the bass knob is turned all the way up. At max volume, yeah, it's hitting pretty good. It's clean, clear bass, but it's just not like vibrating like it should. And I think that's this subwoofer volume on these Alpines that you got to turn up before you tune everything. So let's see what our oscilloscope shows now when we do this. All right, apparently I left everything playing. This thing was already freaking out. So let me find my test tone again here. This is the one I'm using. Oops. Go back into that. That's actually a 4.5 minute test tone. Bass Junkie 40 hertz test tone. Alright, so it's playing right now, and you can see it is moving. We're going to bump up this voltage here. I think we'll turn that up to 2 volts, just so we have something to kind of work with here. And we can kind of watch this oscilloscope dance as it goes down the screen. I don't remember what the... That makes it really quick. 10 hertz, or 10 milliseconds. Yeah, so we'll go 10 milliseconds. That seems to give us a good pretty signal there. We might have to bump up that 2 to, what's the next one up? 5. I don't think we need to go to 5. We'll stick with 2. Alright, let's see what the volume gives us. Alright, hopefully we can see that. I can't reach everything at once. There's better ways to do this, I'm sure. So we're at 32 already. I need to go back there and watch it. So that's at 35. Are we clipping? Let me go look closer. Alright, so we are clipping. We can see the very top of that thing has a weird angle to it. I don't know if you can see it in the screen. Might be more obvious in the bottom. You see it has that weird clip. So that is clipping there. So let's turn it back until we find out when that stops. Alright, so 35. Let's go back. Right there, 34. So 34 is clean. Max is 35. So if we stay to 34, we're good. Just don't go to 35. And just for shits and giggles, if we go to 33, what's it look like? Kind of just the same thing. Go to 34. A little bit bigger, but still a clean signal. Max 35. It does the little flatline thing. Cool. So 34 is my max. So what that tells me now is when you're tuning these systems is you start at the head unit and you work your way back, right? You start with your head unit flat. No bass boost. No, I don't know, nothing on the equalizer. Like everything is flat. So what we just did was everything was flat. We had to turn that subwoofer up to get the proper voltage to the RCA. I don't know if that works out for other decks and stuff like that. Couldn't tell you, but Alpines need that subwoofer level maxed out. So now at that point, we can move back to the amplifiers. So we know our absolute max volume on our deck, which is 34. And we move back to the amplifiers and we set that deck at 34. Now we're going to turn the gains up on the amplifiers until it does the same thing, until we find that clipping point. And so once we find that clipping point, we bring it back a notch just to play it safe. So then we have our max volume on the deck, we have our max volume on the amps, and as long as the speakers can handle the power, then that is all that system will give you. I think the biggest limiting factors on this system are going to be that subwoofer box. It's kind of a crappy box for this much power and this much sub. So we might end up building something bigger in the bed, or bigger in the bed, bigger in the back at some point, but we're just playing. So we're gonna work on doing these amps next and see where those are set at. And just for fun, I want to check the RCAs for the high mid amplifier. I want to see how the high mids are, just to make sure those aren't clipping at any point also. So let's check that just real quick. All right, let's start playing this one. 34 looks clean. 35 actually looks clean. It's interesting. So the highs and mids can go 35. The subwoofer needs to stay down to 34. One notch isn't that big a deal. So if we bring it down one notch, that's all she got. I didn't notice that's 3.3 volts playing on that. I didn't look at what the voltage was on the subwoofer. I'll have to look at the video and see what that one was, just out of curiosity. But yeah, that's kind of cool. So yeah, we'll just use 34. That's close enough. Now we're moving on to the main subwoofer amplifier. I've disconnected the wires. We've got our oscilloscope hooked up. It's all out of whack. We need to bump, I think, the voltage up, if I remember right. Kind of play with that a little bit. I think I saw somebody say 10 to 20 volts works good for that. We'll go 20. And then at this point, we're going to be playing with the gain. So I need to turn the deck up to what we know is our max now, 34. And we'll turn the gain up slowly until we see clipping. So let's try it. So we turn our deck up to 34. Oh, not 35. I got cats hiding in there. I got cats hiding everywhere else. Jesus. Okay, our oscilloscope is pretty clean right now, but it's a very low gain setting. I've turned the gain down completely right now. So now we go in here, we turn our gain up. Gain is that guy right there. And you can see we are already clipping right there. So if I go right there, it's clipping. Come down right there. Just play with this voltage a little bit. See if I go. Nope, nope. So that's as much voltage as I can see on this screen. So I can drop her way down, keep it super clean. Oop, too quick. You see when it goes to the top, it like flatlines. So like that's probably about our max. Because if I go one little bit more, if you notice the sine waves on the bottom start getting dirty, so we can come back right there is kind of our max. That's max gain right there. So this sub would be pounding right now. So I think we're gonna leave it right there. There is some other settings on this amp that I don't know exactly where they need to be. I got a low pass filter, which is kind of tells you your upper point of the bass and everything below. So I don't know where that needs to be set, but that's not going to hurt anything. Subsonic is off. Frequency, I believe I have all the way down. I don't know. And then bass boost is off, basically. So that should be maxed out for our sub right there. This thing's probably pounding right now if those wires were hooked up. So next, I'm just going to do the same thing for the door speakers, the small amp here, and we'll get those things maxed out as well. And then only other thing I forgot to mention is the bass knob right now. Ooh, I should check that actually. Where is my bass knob? It's right here. Is it actually turned all the way up? Yes, it's turned all the way up, which is what we want. Max bass knob. That way, obviously this thing is going to have a ton of bass right now. And two, you know, you're gonna do that when you're playing with it, you're bumping, or you want to show somebody the system, whatever. You're gonna turn that, you want that bass knob up. Everything's maxed out. That's max volume, max bass, everything. And then on normal listening, you're probably gonna have that bass knob turned down, you know, halfway or more, just as you're cruising around town, because you don't want to blow your eardrums out every time you get in this thing. But Okay, now I'm getting kind of excited to hear what this thing's going to sound like after we go through all this. And the last update we got is not a great one. So when I was adjusting these and I was pulling the RCA cables out, I noticed this, I don't know if you can see if I'm zoomed in or not. That piece is in the, it's the grounding, I don't know what you call it, the grounding side of the RCA actually pulled out of the amp. And it's staying with the cable. If I stick it back in, this amp's not making any sound. I have no bass. So, it kind of sucks. Without completely tearing that amp apart to really investigate it, which I don't want to do yet, I sent an email to CT Sounds today. Hopefully we'll get a response tomorrow, which is Monday, and see if there's a fix, if they want to warranty this thing or what. I don't know. It'd be nice just to be able to fix it real quick, but God, I hate to have to send it all back in, but I might have to. We'll see what they say. We'll see what happens. That's kind of the end of my weekend. I actually went to work today, so my weekend was already over. Did another little adventure. I did 2 adventures out in the desert this weekend, so that was kind of fun. Saw a lot of neat stuff. Found some cool rocks, which look like that. These are from yesterday. Went out with my friend Christian, and we weren't looking for rocks. We just happened to run across. Look at the size of this thing. This is crazy. It's got this huge clear thing. I think what this is common opal. It's hard. It's not chalky. And yeah, I think it's called common opal. It's not the precious opal that has all the crazy colors in it. This is more just a standard colored stuff. But then, you know, we were in this one wash that just had a bunch of it. So we were grabbing a bunch of nice pieces of it. This piece here is almost more milky. Kind of cool. And then, you know, some random rocks that picked up out of the river that we were at. That's some crazy patterns on that. Almost looks like an Indian design or something on the tip there. It's crazy. So these will probably go like in the tumbler or something someday. But I don't know. Always just picking up unique looking things. Oh yeah, this one's kind of crazy looking. It's got it's like it was almost like the inside of a cave or a geode or something like that. I don't know. It's weird. A couple cool green rocks. These things are very green when they're wet, so those will be really cool in the polisher. Need to just get a bunch of stuff like that and run a group through the polisher. And then the day before I was out and I was looking at stuff and I picked up a bunch of this stuff. I don't know what this is. It's really unique though. The color changes and it's lots of stuff going on. Look at this big one. It's red on one side, green on the other. It's kind of neat. I don't know what the stuff is. If it's like a jasper or something. It's kind of that shiny, hard. I don't know. I'm not good at identifying this stuff yet. I can give you an idea of what it might be, but that's about it. First I saw this weird green stuff, and so I was thinking maybe I'll grab it just to polish it. So it might be what we end up doing with a lot of this, just to play with. Some bigger chunks of it there. It's kind of yeah, I don't know what it is, but it'd be kind of neat to have a group of green rocks to polish. Might be something kind of unique. So that was this whole weekend. Not super exciting, so we will talk to you guys next time.